Now on Denver 7 News at 10, a community honoring an Arvada police officer shot and killed in the line of duty today.
His service and sacrifice will never be forgotten.
Friends and family remember the life of Officer Dylan Vakoff and everything he stood for.
When the strangest, most devastating things happened in our lives, he always found a way to look at the bright side. And I think that's what he would want us to do here.
Plus, 21 years ago, nearly 3,000 people lost their lives amid terrorist attacks on 9/11.
This is a day not only to remember, but a day of renewal and resolve for each and every American.
How communities here in Colorado are making sure their memories are kept alive.
And the countdown is on, and fans are ready. Bronco baby, let's ride!
We are live in Seattle, where the Broncos are preparing to start their season against the Seahawks.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us for Denver 7 News at 10. I'm Bayan Wang.
And I'm Amy Wattis. Tonight, the Arvada community is in mourning after one of their officers was shot and killed in the line of duty this morning.
27-year-old Dylan Vakoff joined the Arvada Police Department in 2019. Police say he responded to a large family disturbance off 51st and Marshall when the shooting happened. Denver 7's Patrick Perez joins us live outside the Arvada Police Department now, where there's been an outpouring of support for the fallen officer. Patrick?
And Brian, I want to show you the magnitude of the support that we have seen here throughout the day. You can see the dozens and dozens of flowers that have been left here on top of this Arvada police car. Sadly, this feeling of grief really is a feeling that is all too familiar in this community, with them having lost another officer just last year. A memorial grows outside Arvada City Hall Sunday night. A water tower nearby is lit up in blue, all in honor of police officer Dylan Vakoff.
He was always such a sweet person, perfect disposition to be a police officer.
The 27-year-old was shot and killed early Sunday morning by a suspect police say clearly had no concern for others.
This is a tragic loss to this community, to this department, but most significantly, to his family and loved ones.
The shooting happened near 51st and Marshall, where Officer Vakoff and his partner responded to a large family disturbance.
The initial two officers tried to separate several belligerent and uncooperative individuals when the suspect began to fire and shot a female victim.
The officers and the suspect then fired shots at each other, with one of the suspect's bullets striking Vakoff, killing him.
His service and sacrifice will never be forgotten.
Throughout the day Sunday, people stopped by Vakoff's memorial to drop off flowers and pay their respects. Among the crowd, a childhood friend of Vakoff, who was still touched by his kindness and friendship all these years later.
To have the news that it was Dylan, so young, the same age as me, 27, it hit very hard. It caused deep sadness within us, and we just can't believe it, honestly.
Flipping through the pages of her yearbook, Shauna Jantz gave us a glimpse at the young man that touched so many hearts then and now.
Elementary school, middle school, high school, a lot of fond memories with him. You're such an example to this community, and I believe that you have set a precedent for the life that many of us hope to live.
For the Arvada community, Vakoff's death serves as a somber reminder of the sacrifice our officers in blue make each day, one that should never be taken for granted.
I'm so thankful for what he chose to do with his life, and the sacrifice that, ultimately took his life is not taken lightly by our generation and those to come.
The suspect who shot Vakoff was also shot during the shootout and is expected to survive. Police hope to provide more details about them tomorrow. As for Vakoff's family, I'm told they did not want to put out a statement tonight, but of course, as soon as we get one, we will pass it along. Right now, the best way that you can support them is by making a donation to the Colorado Fallen Hero Foundation. That is the only official way that you can donate to the family. Of course, we have a link for you on Denver7.com. Live in Arvada, I'm Patrick Perez, Denver 7.
So incredibly heartbreaking, Patrick. Thank you so much. Now, as Patrick mentioned, this is the second time the Arvada community has mourned the loss of a police officer recently. In 2021, Officer Gordon Beasley was shot and killed during an ambush attack in Old Town Arvada. He spent 19 years serving with the Arvada Police Department. Before that, Officer Michael Northey was struck and killed by a vehicle in 1979 during a traffic stop.
Arvada strong! Let's go! Let's ride!
24 cyclists finished biking across the entire state today. They are doing it to raise money to buy bulletproof vests for 10 Colorado law enforcement agencies. Riders say after the death of Officer Vakoff, the rest of the ride took on a very different tone.
The loss of the Arvada officer today, I'm glad we still had some riding to do, because that gave us 90 miles to really be here, not only for each other, but to really do something for the community and give a little bit back in whatever small way we can.
Now, if you want to donate, visit shield616.org. Now, the nation marked the 21st anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks by honoring the nearly 3,000 lives lost on that tragic day.
At the September 11th memorial in New York City, family and friends read the names of their loved ones. While at the Pentagon, President Joe Biden attended a wreath-laying ceremony where he paid tribute to the victims.
This is a day not only to remember, but a day of renewal and resolve for each and every American.
First Lady Jill Biden also attended a ceremony in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, paying tribute to the heroic actions of the Americans on United Flight 93.
In the meantime, New York legislators are aiming to close a $3 billion gap for the 9/11 First Responders Health Fund. The World Trade Center Health Program provides no-cost medical monitoring and treatment for people with certified health conditions related to the 9/11 attacks. The program is authorized through 2090.
Back here at home, more than 300 firefighters honored 9/11 victims with a stair climb at a 55-story building in downtown. Every firefighter started at the basement and climbed to the roof with all their gear twice, totaling 110 floors, the same number of floors the Twin Towers had. Each year, more and more firefighters joined the stair climb, some who weren't even born in 2001. Another stair climb was organized at the Red Rocks Amphitheater. The events directly benefit the FDNY Counseling Services Unit and the programs provided by the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation.
Well, now to the game we all have been looking forward to. The Broncos traveling to the Pacific Northwest today as they prepare to take on the Seahawks tomorrow.
I am so excited for this. Broncos insider Troy Renck joins us live in Seattle now. Troy, fans have high hopes and expectations for our team this year. We all want to see what this team is made of, and tomorrow will be our first glimpse.
Yeah, Amy and Bayan, I was standing in this exact place last night, and Seahawks star receiver Tyler Lockett proposed to his girlfriend. She said yes, there will be a wedding, but all the talk in Seattle is about the messy divorce between the Seahawks and Russell Wilson. Wilson is looking forward to playing here. Why wouldn't he? He's 10-3 in Monday night games. I'm not worried about Wilson. He plays his best when it matters most. His teammates, they need to step up. The Broncos have played roughly 5 meaningful games in the last 6 years, but it will help having Russell Wilson as their leader, their udder, their lighthouse in the storm. And you can believe this, Russell Wilson is ready.
Obviously, tremendous love and history there, you know, and like I said, I've been there so many times, and I don't know, played 100+ home games there, I think, something like that. You know, been there quite a bit, and some, like I said, some amazing memories and amazing friends and people that I got to meet, and you know, so it'll definitely be an experience I've never experienced before, but it'll also be an experience that I'm gonna enjoy the journey of it all. You know, my focus is going to be on joy. My focus is going to be on my teammates and us playing our best football that we can possibly play against a really good football team.
Dalton Reisner told me of Russell Wilson that he considers pressure a privilege. Now, pressure can make players melt, dissolve before our eyes, or pressure can form diamonds. We're going to find out on Monday night. Bayan, Amy, back to you.
All right, we sure will, and thanks, Troy. Now, if there's one thing we know about Broncos fans, it's that they are dedicated and always ready to celebrate their team. Denver 7's Jason Grenauer is also in Seattle and spent time with fans as they get amped up for tomorrow's game.
What does Broncos country do the night before the biggest game in about a half decade? They throw a party, that's what they do. Let's go Broncos! This is the Broncos Backer Bar in Seattle that usually plays host to watch parties. But tonight, after fans took a group photo out at the Space Needle, it was the gathering place to get excited, to get ready for Monday Night Football.
This is like being back home for the moment, you guys. This is like, you know, Bronco heaven for us up here in Seattle.
That included many Colorado expats now living in Seattle, still supporting the orange and blue, but plan on being in the stands tomorrow night.
There's a lot of Denver fans here, more than you would expect. So it's really cool to see everybody show up, right? Whether they're coming from out of town or they live here, just in my case. So it's just awesome to be around this.
Even new Broncos team president Damani Leach and Hall of Famer Steve Atwater came to join the party ahead of Monday night's big matchup.
Denver Broncos fans of Seattle, they boast more than 3,000 fans on Facebook. Combine that with all the people who traveled in from Denver and across the country and Broncos country here in Seattle, hoping to hear their voices heard tomorrow night at kickoff from Lumen Field. With my new friends, the Broncos fans of Seattle, I'm Jason Grenauer. Back to you.
Thanks, Jason. Denver 7 is your home for all things Broncos. You can watch the Broncos and the Seahawks right here on Denver 7 Monday night. Special coverage starts at 5, kickoff is at 6:15, and the post-game show is right after.
Coming up, a new candidate throwing their hat in the ring to become Denver's new mayor.
This is a historic time in our city.
Denver 7 sat down with her, asking about her priorities for the city ahead of next year's election.
Plus, Colorado nursing schools are working to address equity issues in healthcare.
I think it's very important when you come into a classroom that's diverse, you don't feel intimidated, you feel comfortable, you feel relaxed.
How some programs are taking steps towards improving care.
And a revolutionary procedure giving Coloradans a second shot at life.
I don't want to be tied to either a machine every night or a machine 3 times a week. I want to live my life